Hello and welcome to Real Talk, coming to you live on SABC 3, where the stage is yours. So for all you comedy lovers, love him or love him, there's no doubt that he has become a bona fide comedy genius and a legend in the field in just 10 years. Kumba Hlope will be on your screens a little bit later on the show, but now, because we like to make money, just when you thought we knew all about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, virtual money, enter Stadex Wildlife, a cryptocurrency-based business that seeks to preserve and protect endangered species from hunters, poachers, predators. A business that was started by Tumelo Ramaphosa, who shares a penchant for wildlife and buffaloes like his father. He has a Master of Science from the Halt International Business School, and he ain't trying to be just the president's son. And he's here to tell us more about the business. With him is Tumelo is the chief. Welcome to the show to Tumelo Ramaphosa. Joining him is Chief Investment Officer at Stadex, Sakhile Dhlamini. You see, guys, I'm getting confused already. Because to be fair, I still don't understand what Bitcoin is.
Got it.
Many people have tried to explain it to me, and all I know is that it's a virtual stokvel, basically. Now you come in here, Tumelo, and you want to introduce us to protecting animals but making money at the same time.
That's right.
How does that work?
Well, essentially, with Stadex Wildlife, as you said, cryptocurrency to preserve endangered wildlife species. And so why making a cryptocurrency is to globalize it. So whole idea with Bitcoin is to decentralize information into decentralized data. So instead of having a South African auction, now it's global. By being a cryptocurrency, it's online, it's more global, and there are more people that can be and play a part in it.
Okay, but when I was reading up on it and, you know, going further into a hole of confusion, and I was like, thank God these gentlemen are here to explain it to me. There was something that spoke about, let's say you have one buffalo, which is worth 12 million, and then you can take it up to 100 buffaloes. How does that work out?
Well, it's just like with mining, like you're making with mining Bitcoins.
Yes.
It's the whole computational, mathematical solving problems of making new Bitcoins in the blockchain.
Okay.
So with us, with our mining effort, it's with the reproduction, the breeding. So we reproduce these animals, and as they reproduce, they gain in value. So with Stadex, it will be an $850 million initial coin offering, like an initial purchase order.
Okay.
So when a company goes and lists on the stock exchange, we would go and list on a cryptocurrency blockchain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Sakhile, what does $850 get me?
$850 gives you access to
850 million. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the...
You left out a few zeros. That's a costly mistake. Okay, so what does... So to buy in, I need 850 million?
No. Essentially, you have everybody in the world who will buy in to Stadex at $850 million. That'll be the initial coin offering. Okay. Just as we have now with token sale at Chankura.com, which is the exchange which we will list on. Currently, right now, that's a $100 million initial coin offering. And what we're doing is that we are making our exchange a coin.
Okay.
So we are listing it on our blockchain, on our exchange to make it a coin, and following the Binance model. Binance, international exchange just like ours, but we're also making ourselves a coin. And with the initial coin offering is raising funds as you would with initial purchase order. So people would buy in and invest at $100 million. Once we've capped that, then we list it, and then it becomes a coin. Once it becomes a coin, then...
It's a very expensive coin.
Well, it's a global. It's a global. So everybody and anybody can play part, and they need to now buy Bitcoins and then convert those to Ethereum. And now you can do all of this on our Chankura.com exchange.
Sakhile, please explain it to me like I'm really stupid.
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect. Bitcoin is money for the internet.
Yes.
That's basic. That's just simple.
But now, and this has always been my question about Bitcoin.
For sure.
If I have a coin and it's worth, say, 28,000, right? What does it mean for me? Because now I can use that Bitcoin to buy in places that allows me to buy in Bitcoin. So it's currency that can be used in places that accepts Bitcoin, right? Now, your Stadex, where can I use these coins?
This is a perfect question. I think that's the one aspect that we're missing in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency aspect, and that's one thing I'd like to thank you and the team for the platform, is communication.
Yes.
If people don't ask the right questions, it's hard for us, the people that are knowledgeable about the space, to share our expertise and our knowledge to be able to begin a dialogue.
Okay.
Bitcoin, you said Bitcoin, the price is 28,000.
Yes.
That's a price for one Bitcoin.
I mean, it fluctuates,
it
right?
fluctuates,
yeah.
obviously.
So let's say at this current moment, it's 28,000.
28,000.
Yeah.
Let's take that for example. Bitcoin can be split up into a 1/1,000,000th. So let's take a rand, for example, right? Irandi Ishumi is 100 cents.
Yes.
You can split it up theoretically into 100 cents. You can give each and one of your nephews 1 cent, 1 cent, 1 cent. Bitcoin, one Bitcoin can be split up into millions. So you can take one Bitcoin and you can take 1,000,000 people and give them one Satoshi, which is 0.0000 all the way to the 8th.
I'm with
so
you.
the reason why it costs 28,000 is because you can take 28,000 and divide it by 1,000,000.
Okay.
That's why in retrospect it will ultimately be not that expensive because it can be divided into such small increments.
Yes.
And the reason when you said it can be accepted anywhere, cryptocurrencies with statics that would allow us to almost interact with other zoos and other wildlife parks, whether in China, whether in the United States. So now people are able to breed.
Okay.
So if emakhaya in Eilaland, you know who has a hash or a donkey that you guys need to pay with, now you can do it digitally and be like, hey, Tumelo Sakhile at Statics, please can you guys please tell us your list of animals? We have this side.
So these
We'd like
coins
to, there we go.
are worth an animal that is currently somewhere.
There we go. So we're digitizing cattle and wildlife.
But they must be existent somewhere.
For sure.
That's right.
They, I must be able to say, I've got 30 statics and they are worth 30 buffaloes, and these buffaloes are currently in Northern Province in South Africa.
No, globally. They could be anywhere.
They can be, and I'm just giving them a
So right
location.
now, currently, the animals we've identified are the endangered wildlife species in South Africa, the gorillas in Rwanda, and the royal horses in Dubai, the Dubai Super Cup.
So if they're endangered, does this not make them more endangered if they are now literally what we grew up as gold? Because remember, a rand used to equal gold at the Reserve Bank.
You see, that's a very good question, another good question, because there we go. It's like, but that separation of the marriage between a dollar being referenced to the price of gold.
Yes.
You know, $1 equals so much of gold. You can't actually do that. But with us now, you actually can. With Bitcoin, every Bitcoin is referenceable through computational data on the blockchain. So you can now, every Bitcoin that is mined, every Bitcoin that is transacted and sold is cryptographically saved on the blockchain. So for instance, with the statics tokens are going to be now ERC, Ethereum ERC 721 code, right? So now each animal becomes its own coin. Now each animal will represent a different price. So even with the $12 million buffalo, you'd have now people investing now in that $12 million buffalo.
To protect it.
To protect it, yes. So you protect, you'd be investing in the drones. So you'd invest in the whole business that allows these animals to be protected.
And even the DNA of the animal in terms of its hereditary and the next generations of those animals.
So you're paying for the reproduction of it, because it's quite pricey to have a buffalo mate and to reproduce. You're paying for that, which then, so I've paid for it and I own it, right? Along many other people.
There we go.
Are we still paying in more money for its upkeep?
You would pay for its upkeep. We could either manage.
Like bank charges?
Yeah, bank charges, essentially. So it is your investment. So now you invest in, so let's say with the initial coin offering, right? So we'd list animals on the pre-sale for the initial coin offering. So you'd buy the buffalo at $12 million. Well, all these various animals at your own investment appetite, right? So then when the ICO finishes, now the coin gets listed on the exchange and then now it jumps. It goes up like a stock price. So it could go 10, 20, 50, $100 billion. It could
And one buffalo that I paid into could result in us having 50 buffaloes.
You could result in 50 buffaloes, but then your $12 million buffalo could be a $100 million buffalo. Because it's global, now there are more people who can auction online. And now, as I said, instead of the centralization of South African auctions, is that we can have auction almost any time. So we become a bigger auction.
It's a very high-end situation.
We're trying to get it there. You know, we're trying to be the future of money. So every client would have virtual reality goggles, and they would now be able to buy, sell, and trade within the virtual reality goggles. So it would be a virtual world. And why I kind of created this business, because I almost made myself a customer. In San Francisco, you know, I missed being at home, I missed, you know, flying my drone around at home. I mean, I even make my flying harness my uniform every day. So this is it. Yeah, this is my uniform.
Okay,
so
I even see you wearing a Bitcoin jersey there. You are living the brand.
It's my uniform.
Okay, quickly before I let you guys go, first things first, you guys are going to come back. We're just wanting to see if we're interested. Now we know that.
Okay.
So you guys are getting a second date. You're getting a second date.
Now it's warm,
so we can talk at length about this. But quickly, we just got a question from the viewers who said, is the risk involved if the animal dies? Then what happens? Do I lose now the money?
That's a good thing. That's a good thing if animal dies, actually, because animal dies, we now would now...
We've reproduced.
No, as we reproduce, now in the whole initial coin offering, there's now an activity called burning tokens. So as you burn the tokens, you take them off, we would buy them back, and now the price of the whole market cap goes up. Because now there's more scarcity, there's more demand for that. Because there's
but my animal is dead. Where's my money?
You get recompensated. So even even like other farmers that we would identify on our network. So it's a very...
Okay, so the economies of scale then comes in
there
because we've got one less buffalo.
There we go.
An example of that would be Uchileguti, the rand is backed by, back in the day, by gold.
Yeah.
If you keep your gold in the reserve bank, if the reserve bank gets held up by a heist, you still have insurance on your money. Okay. So it's not that the gold is gone, it's gone, like the gold would be dead. Yeah. If your gold gets taken away, you'll be compensated for the value of the previous gold and any insurance premium that you had on your funds.
Okay. I am a lot more smarter than I was 10 minutes ago. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We're really out of time. When you come back, whatever you wanting to say.
14th of July.
No, I'm going to say it now.
Okay.
I promise you.
Say.
You can hear more from Tumelo and Sakhile about their business at the Unlocking Bitcoin Africa Conference happening on the 14th of July at the Sandton Convention Center. For more details, you can visit unblockingbitcoinafrica.io. After the break, it's about to get lit, heated, and controversial. We may even need a disclaimer. Tiza, Skumba, guys. Skumba Shop is on the other side of this. Thank you, gentlemen.
But I think I'm a funnier guy than him.